Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 28 of my Regrowth Let's Play. I know last time I said we were going to be doing some more witchery stuff, but today we're actually going to go and do a little bit more work on tech, because we're getting into some territory that is not completely charted by quests yet in witchery, and I know that the next update, which is coming soon, will have more witchery quests, so I don't want to do too much ahead of where I'm at. Now, I did, as promised, make the ghastly seeds, and those are up here, currently spreading their way across things. I also used the wither skulls that I was given by the quest to complete the withering seeds. You don't even need to think about making seeds anymore, but you sure wouldn't mind some seeds to artificially create wither skeleton skulls. We're going to grab the extreme essence from that, and we're going to set up our 2 wither seeds. Huh, that was ridiculously quiet. You know what happened? I set my music down to, my master volume down to 0% when I was doing a bunch of rune creation earlier on. See, I almost got the word right that time. And yeah, I just sat here for a while watching YouTube and mass producing runes. So I had 30 of the elementals before I made 10 of the various seasonals, and then I'm making the sin runes as needed. Speaking of as needed, we have a bunch more high-end seeds that we can make right now. What we're going to start with is the cobalt seeds, because the osmium, cobalt, and ardite seeds, if I take a look at those real quick, you know what, there's going to be no easy way to look up just those 3 in NEI, but they all use a block of manulin, and right now I don't have enough manulin to make more than the 1 block, and I don't have enough cobalt to make more manulin, so I need to get my hands on more cobalt. As such, we're going to use up our first block of manulin to make the cobalt seeds. They also all require 4 extreme essence, 3 of the various sin runes, a block of the chosen material, some form of dye. In the case of cobalt, it is blue. I'm going to use some lapis, an essence seed, and this refined steel stuff that is added special for this pack from the Quadra mod, which allows you to add custom items and such. Now, this is made by further refining steel in the blast furnace. We already have a 2 full stacks of steel made, and if I take a look at the blast furnace to take a look at the refined steel, this is actually used for a number of things, including steel casing and the applied Energistics 2 charger, and will have even more uses in the future. As such, we're just going to go ahead and make a full stack of refined steel. Now, this takes, this is going a lot faster than I expected it to. This takes, in the blast furnace, hang on, how about I use steel ingot to show you, 400 ticks, which is about 20 seconds. So this stack should only use up about half a stack of our coal coke. But we get the 1 refined steel that I need right away. Now we can go get these cobalt seeds going. Essence seed, lapis, manulin, cobalt, refined steel, the various runes, and 4 extreme essence. That is quite the recipe there. Let's watch this go. Oh, I don't have my wand on me, do I? There we go. Oh man, this takes a lot of power. Look at how long that's taking. This is with my Elven Mana Spreader with a potency lens pulling out of a mana pool, and it's right next to the runic altar, so that's pretty close to the top speed that I can manage right now, and it's still taking quite some time to get the cobalt seeds going. Anyway, I have 1 other seed that I'm also preparing. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to get some living rock onto that altar for when it does finish. We've got this guy running at 5 seconds right now. There we are. Cobalt seeds. Don't let those get away. So, that allows us to finish up the cobalt seeds quest. How am I doing on extreme essence? I have 5 on hand. And you know what? We're just going to keep taking the extreme essence. It doesn't matter. It's fine. I'm not going to be using it, but it might be cool to make, well, I don't know if I can make the base charms. No, I can't make infused diamonds. So, there's no real use for extreme essence after I'm done with all this. Ooh, except for making the extreme potions, and those are kind of worth making. So yeah, we're just going to keep taking the extreme essence. That's fine. It's cool. Oh, actually, never mind. I might need to get myself an essence farm going again, just for the silverwood saplings. Those, I know that I'm gonna want a few of them. Other than that, it's just a bunch of seeds that I'll only ever make once. Yeah, not a ton of use for Extreme Essence, but still worth always taking that one because you'll have 2 of the seed of whatever you just made anyway. And the other seed we're going to make right now is actually slime seeds, using an essence seed, a rune of envy, a rune of gluttony, 2 slime balls, and as always, a bit of living rock. Come on, start going. Maybe I forgot something. Hang on. Slime soul seed. Envy, gluttony, 2 slime balls, 3 extreme essence. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's right. All of these seeds take extreme essence. Wow. It's been that sort of day for me, folks. It feels like my brain is just switched off. I don't understand why. I have no idea what happened. That is just like, yeah, I'm checked out. I'm done. You go ahead without me there, guy. You don't need your brain today, right? Yeah. By the way, I've seen multiple reports that melting your rutile in the smeltery is hit or miss. This is due to a known bug that is being worked on with some of the Mindtweaker scripts. If you are unable to melt your rutile in the smeltery into impure titanium, or you're unable to craft the piston with the redstone recipe, I mean with the lever recipe, and it keeps reporting the redstone recipe instead, or if your engine here, the basic one, says redstone engine instead of wooden engine, your client and or server need to be restarted. That is the only effective solution that I have found so far. The pack developer for this pack and the mod developer for Mindtweaker are both working on it. It is going to be solved in the future. We're just not 100% certain when. So, I made a bunch more titanium, and I ran into that issue while I was in the middle of it, where, ow, nope, don't burn to death. I ran into the issue while I was trying to melt down the rutile, because I've got my rutile now set up over here to mass produce. So if that becomes something that's a problem for you, just, you know, restart everything. Try turning it off and back on again. Alright, so next step along the way. Oh, there's my slime seeds. We're gonna get that quest handed in. Slimy seeds. More extreme essence. And another farm. Slowly building me better seeds. This time for slime essence. Now, as soon as I have enough cobalt, I can go ahead and make the ardite seeds. As such, I'm going to do the old thing that you haven't seen me do in a while. I'm going to use the magical fertilizer from Magic Crops. We're going to... Maybe I'm not. Wow. Apparently these can't even be magic fertilized. Huh. I guess I'm going to go back to waiting patiently because I got told. Moving on then. Alright. So we built the basic low pressure boiler. I am going to want a big one of these in high pressure form to supply my long-term power needs, because I have a secret love for railcraft boilers and I would really like to get that going. However, there's a couple of things that I do want to do to make that happen. You see, there's a little thing called Firestone from Railcraft, and this is found at the bottom of lava lakes in the Nether, and you need to silk touch it up. And then you can get the raw Firestone by putting the Firestone ore into a rock crusher, but all of that will come later. For right now, I really want to go on the hunt for Firestone. To do that, I am going to need some form of absolute protection from the lava. And to get that, I believe that my path forward is actually going to be a Gaia Spirit. Ooh, that sounds dangerous. So, that's going to be quite the fight according to the Lexica Botania. As such, we're going to approach it sideways, and we're going to get into some serious potion brewing to really kick up our defensive potential. Also, it is well past time to replace the Mentat. I have an abundance of materials. I am going to go ahead and craft for myself off camera the Terrasteel armor, or at least all of the ingots that I need for the Terrasteel armor. So yeah, I'm going to go spend a little bit of time working on that, and I'll be back when it's done. Alright folks, so the quest for Terrasteel continues. I drastically underestimated what was involved, as each singular Terrasteel ingot uses up about half of a mana pool. So my mana supply, well, it's been upgraded. And actually, I found that my original system was not capable of fueling 46 endo flames, so I tried extending it up a level so that 4 coal would fall at a time, and it still couldn't keep up. Instead, I am now feeding it coal blocks, even though I will have some coal blocks end up despawning by the time these are able to eat more. It's the only way I can think of to keep all of these fueled, and I'm going to move that back down a layer again because I didn't think to do that until just now. I also had to very carefully kind of set what spreader each endo flame was attached to and upgrade all of the spreaders with potency velocity lenses just to be able to not have a backup from the mana spreaders. And yeah, I set up the day blooms and the nightshades because they're pretty and I wanted pretty flowers. So yeah, if you want to do, you know, something like 30 Terrasteel the way I'm trying to do, I'm up to 10 so far and I'm working on 20 more to try to get geared up, expect to spend a lot of mana on it and a lot of time because it's not something that happens quickly or easily or cheaply. Like, look at all that mana disappear. And that spark is pulling out of 3 pools and having some sent to it from the generation pool. Yeah, it's intense. That's a lot of mana to just disappear into 1 ingot that will eventually be a single piece of a larger item. Just ridiculous. But it's cool, because Terrasteel makes awesome gear. This is why it is the end game of Botania, even though you can get to it before you even bother opening your portal, which, given my current reserves of mana, may stay closed forever. Alright, let's do something cool with the Terrasteel since I have you here. I want to show you one of the things that I'm going to be building. As long as I'm upgrading things and making cool Terrasteel stuff, I figured it is apparently time to make a bunch more living wood because I'm completely out of that stuff. Balls. Alright, so I'm going to make a couple of stacks of living wood, and then we can show you cool things that Terrasteel can do. By the way, those ember mosses will actually legitly set you on fire if you don't have a pyroclast pendant the way I do, so maybe be slightly more cautious than I am. You will thank yourself later. Yeah. So let's get some living wood real quick. I want to make a thing with this Terrasteel. By the way, I did this as like a throwaway at the end of a video and people were amazed and thought it was fantastic. So now I'm showing you my living wood production. I set them up around the pure daisy and then I set one on top of each pure daisy. 1 log. Because it won't turn into living wood. Not at all. But the lumber axe will mine a 3x3 area and it will only grab the wood. So if I've got this set up with the log on top, which it's taking a while to transmute because the server's lagging at the moment, maybe because I'm doing so much crap with mana and I've still got my koboldite guy going. Maybe I should shut that down for now. It's up to, you know, 2.5 stacks, but he's doing a good job back here. My little hobgoblin oh, you know what? I relogged. He's been just kind of wandering around without his leash. Luckily, they don't despawn, as far as I've been able to tell. Even when, well, also he's holding an item, so he would never despawn. But yeah, you need to come over here every time you log back in if you go build this thing. And yeah, make sure that you put the leash back on him. He's been just standing around doing nothing for the longest time while this thing cycles more items into the world and then tosses them back out. I'm a terrible server host. Do what I say, not what I do. Okay, so as I was showing you, the lumber axe that I swear I got out of my bag, but somehow managed to fail through the magic of internet lag. If I mine this one, this spruce wood on top, it gets all 8 of the living wood logs, or just living wood, and doesn't even bother the daisy at all. So you save yourself a lot of hassle by putting the extra one up there, because then you can just look forward and dig it up, and you're good. Alright, so now that I've got the living wood, and I'm setting up some more to transmute, or whatever you call it. I guess transmutation's a good good enough word for what the pure daisy does. It changes one material into another. What we're going to do, we're going to make ourselves a single living wood twig, I believe they're called. Yes. And we're going to combine it with 2 Terrasteel ingots to make the Terra Blade. Remote paranoia. Which, if you happen to be a fan of Terraria, you may have seen this exact icon and model and sprite in another game where things are a little bit more 2D and a little less 3D. Huh, I don't know why I never cut that tree down. Anyway, I'm going to bring it out here so I don't screw anything up, but when you're swinging the Terra Blade, you'll notice that occasionally you shoot out a beam of awesomeness. That will do as much damage as your sword swing. Now, I'm going to want this thing to be even cooler than it currently is, and of course that's going to mean enchanting it. I've got a couple of options. I think, since I've got the experience, I'll toss it into my standard enchantment table with the mana pylons just the once, just to see what happens. But I also believe I want to do better than that. I would really, really like to build myself a new enchantment device from Botania that's going to help me out. And where the heck did my enchantment table go? Oh yeah, I used it to make the world anchor, didn't I? Alright, so let me go grab that and I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. 30 levels, dumping it into the Terra Blade, hoping it doesn't come out awful. Unbreaking 3. Well, that's kind of awful. We're going to have to do a lot better than that, and unfortunately that means that I believe I need to get out my spell casting cloth thing, which is in one of my 3 Botania chests. I need spellbinding cloth, that's it. I need such a better setup than I currently have. This is just awful. So I can just keep putting it back in and hoping I get lucky, but there's a better option, and I think I would like to take that better option. So we're going to tear this down, actually. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to make 4 more of these mana pylons with mana steel, mana diamond, and gold. So I'm going to need, hang on, how many of those are made per craft? Is it 2? It's 1. So I am going to need 8 mana steel and 4 mana diamonds, which I have. Good. 4 mana diamonds, get, and 1 more mana steel. There we go. And then 8 gold ingots. There we are. So, let's see. You are what I want. 4 of you. Excellent. I am also going to need to empty my inventory slightly, but that's simple enough. Because I need to get my hands on some mystical flowers. Ooh, that's interesting. I need 10 mystic flowers. I have 0 mystic flowers. Alright, well, that's a simple enough fix. I do have a farming bag full of floral fertilizer, so let's just make whatever 10 pop up. There. And now I've created myself a massive inventory mess. Let me sort that out. I'll be right back. Alright, as I was cleaning up the inventory mess, I had an idea, and it turns out it is correct that the mystical flowers do indeed count for the witchery altar. So spread a little floral fertilizer around your altar to get more power. We are now up to 9390 without having actually started to use it in any real way at all, which makes me just super happy. Okay, so what are we going to be building? Well, I'll tell you in just a moment. We're going to need to go along with our mana pylons. Why did I not put things away in the farming bag before I started this next segment? You'd think that I would have learned better by now, but nope, I am totally unprofessional. We're also going to need ourselves a block of lapis, which I don't seem to have any of that made up yet. So, alright, let's go make ourselves a stack's worth of lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli? I will never remember the pronunciation of this stuff because I got it wrong for so long because I learned it from a book. And now every time I just think I'm doing it wrong again. Doesn't matter. It's always going to be that way. So we're going to do some enchanting with mana in natural apparatus. Specifically, we want, yes, enchanting with mana. We want to do one of these structures. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, a 5x5 area for obsidian. And I think we're going to start it right from the center of this structure, just so it's nice and close to everything. And let me make sure that I can actually do this. Yeah, I think that I can, because we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. So that's the 5, right? Yep. And then it's going to go 1, 2, 3. Nope. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to move this one more. Try not to put your obsidian down before you figure out exactly where it needs to go, because picking this stuff up, even with a Terra Shatterer that's enchanted with efficiency 4, kind of annoying. So don't put it in the wrong place. You will regret it. Yeah, actually it'll fit perfectly right here. Excellent. It's not going to look great, but then again, I swear that I will never actually have all of my things laid out in a way that I like. It's just, it's impossible. It doesn't happen. Something's wrong here. Oh, that's wrong. There we go. Excellent. Is that wrong? What am I doing wrong? This is wrong. That's what's wrong. You can tell it's my first time putting one of these together. Come on. I have studied the method, but this is my first attempt at putting it into practice. So yeah, you're going to need 4 of that, basically, around here. Like so. Ooh, it's going to interfere slightly with my living wood production area, but that's okay. Let's just pick all of that up. But I'm going to need my farming stuff out that I didn't put away because I knew I was going to need to move this. Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds better than I'm a derp and don't know what I'm doing. I like that more. When you make a mistake, just pretend it was intentional. Yeah. All right. And the mana pylons, as previously stated, will be, one of them will be 1, 2, 3 spaces away from our 1, 2, 3, right? Like there. And it's going to need to be up 1 because, or actually no, I can just set it there. And then I believe I am going to need to put mystical flowers underneath each of these, but it doesn't care what kind of mystical flowers you use. So I'm not going to try particularly hard to make things like any sort of specific pattern. I just know I need exactly 10 of them. So there's, you know, 6 already. I should be able to. Nope, we do in fact need to place it up 1 level. If I'm reading this correctly. Let's see. Mana pylons 1 block in the air where marked. Yep, and then mystical flowers go underneath the pylons and in the center. 1, 2, 3, like that. Like that. And then let's start getting the center filled in. And now we can go grab 4 more of these mystic flowers. We'll use pink and purple because they're pretty. These are going to go... I can count. 1, 2, 3, up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, up. There. 1, 2, 3, up. There. There. And here. Yes. Then we put another pylon. Another pylon. Another pylon. And another pylon. Now, why am I doing all this? Well, because now we're going to stick our lapis lazuli block down there, and we're going to give it a whack with our wand of the forest to create the mana enchanter. Now, this is a really cool device that will allow us to effectively duplicate our enchanted books. In order to utilize it, you would place via right-click the item to be enchanted in the enchanter itself and drop enchanted books inside the circle around it. Now, I don't know if I can then duplicate my enchanted books this way, but I'm certainly going to try. And the first one I'm going to attempt that on is actually going to be this... Where to go? Sharpness 3 right here. Let's find out if this works, because if it does, I'm going to be a very happy person. It'll mean I don't have to build a Botania book duplication... I mean, not a Botania, a BiblioCraft book duplication device, which I have built in the past in my first Agrarian Skies series, not that terrible attempted reboot that came way too soon and never got finished. Alright, so to feed this thing mana, you need to either send it mana from one of these spreaders, Oh wow, I'm out of coal entirely. Or you need to give it a spark. And I attempted to give it a spark. Huh. Maybe a shift right click? There we go. There you go. You can see that the spark attached to everything. So if we right click it with the book is floating there. We toss the enchanted book onto the ground as it says, and then we give it another right click with the wand of the forest. Nope, it does not like the book. Darn. That's okay. I'm not too upset about that. So I want to put sharpness and knockback onto my Terra Shatterer, or not Terra Shatterer, my Terra Blade. And I think I was also considering Fire Aspect or Bane of Arthropods or... No, just one of those two. So we won't bother. We're just going to put sharpness and knockback on there for now. So put you there and toss down the 2 enchanted books. Give you a whack. Oh, you can see that the spell circle is now solid, and I can now pick those up, and it's going to start drawing in mana. Once it's done, then I can go ahead and pick up the item. And it has my knockback 2 and sharpness 3 on it, and I still have my books. Now you'll note that the sharpness book has a second enchant on it. It does not care. It will only use the first enchant in each series. Now what I'm going to be doing with that for my armor is I'm going to make sure that I have protection 4 on every piece of armor, because an entire suit of diamond level armor with protection 4 on it makes you practically invulnerable. And I'm going to put haste 1 on the boots because I like it. Now, I haven't figured out a great solution for creating specific enchanted books yet. I'm still looking into that, but I think at the moment you're really just stuck with what the slot machine gives you. If you happen to know of a good way to create enchanted books in this pack, and I don't mean copy them with BiblioCraft or use them through the Mana Enchanter or anything like that. I want to be able to say, I am looking for a Sharpness 5 book. Let's see how we can make that. Then let me know in the comments below. However, I might spend a bunch of experience essence and a bunch of my, a bunch of books on the roulette, because it is fully possible to, well, let me grab some books here to show you. Here, let me just grab 3, or a couple, because I'll run out of room otherwise. These guys are, actually, they're placed terribly for this. There is absolutely no way to have both of them. Hang on. 1, 2, 1, 2. If I put an enchanter there and I throw a book in, it can do up to 30. So you can have a regular enchantment table near your mana enchanter that can manage 30 levels, just kind of parasitically off of the mana pylons that are already going to exist. Alright, so I'm going to get back to farming up coal, because I have to do that manually right now. I've got enough Terrasteel in here to make 3 more ingots worth, which is not nearly enough to actually get to my suit of armor. I need 14 more ingots worth before I am there. So, I shall return later. Actually, folks, correction, we're at about the 30 minutes mark, so instead I'm just going to show you one more time making something enchanted with the Mana Enchanter. Going to use up my... Well, I'm going to make use of, not actually use up, which is in the entire point, the Protection 4 and Haste 1 book on these boots. Just for now. Don't worry, we'll do better in the future. Get that going. It's a really cool graphical effect. Grab my books back. A little bit of mana comes in. And now I have some cool book. Oh, wow, it never finished. It didn't get the Protection 4 on there. So now you run into the problem, and the reason the Spellbinding Cloth exists, you cannot put an enchanted item onto the Mana Enchanter. If something goes wrong with the process, and you want to start over and try again, you are forced to grab the Spellbinding Cloth out and wipe the enchantment away entirely, using up a little durability from the cloth, but that's okay, it's super cheap, to be able to try again. I don't know if the other book wasn't in the right area or what happened, but we're going to give this another go. Wait for the the circle to appear fully, then you can safely pick up the books. And once again, we only got haste 1. Huh. Maybe the Protection 4 book that I got isn't quite right. I don't know what's going on with that. So let's toss that Protection 4 down into the world and try it on its own. No, it's not detecting that as a proper enchanted book at all. and I have no idea why that is. Okay, so never mind. I'm not sure what happened, what went wrong there, but we're definitely going to have to... Oh, you know what? I'm noticing that all of the other enchanted books have a yellow name. These two, the Fortune 3 and the Protection 4 it gave me from the quest, do not. So I think that I am going to have to build that BiblioCraft duplicator afterward, but that's going to be next time as we continue gearing up for some cool boss fights. For now, I'll just be happy with my really awesome knockback 10 damage sword that I might even end up improving once I get that going. So join me next time for more enchantment goodness. I will do my best to get the Terrasteel boot armor set completed in between episodes. Thank you very much for joining me, folks. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If so, please leave a thumbs up and tell me what I did right. If not, leave a thumbs down and tell me what you think I can do better. And I'll see you next time.